Wow, we're going to try that again. Been talking for the last 10 minutes, and apparently I haven't been recording. So as you might be able to tell, I am still sick. So rather than doing a live stream this afternoon, I'm going to do this as a pre-record, upload it as a premiere, and then I'll be available in the chat if anybody has any questions. So that way, hopefully I can still do some stuff without, like, hacking up a lung. Wednesday, I will be on week 3, being sick. I started to feel better. And then Saturday night, started feeling kind of ucky. Woke up Sunday morning. Couldn't swallow. Was really, really nauseous. So here I am today, Tuesday. My nose is really plugged up. My throat's irritated. Ooh, I got a sneeze and I can't mute. Sneezing like crazy. My lungs hurt. So unfortunately, I think I'm on the downside versus the uphill. I think I'm getting worse rather than getting better at this point. We'll see where things go. Needless to say, very low energy. Haven't really been doing a whole heck of a lot in the craft room. So I've been trying to do still trying to do some stuff, but things that require very low energy. One of the things I did was I dyed a bunch of paper. So this is different book pages, dictionary, music. I love this. These are Japanese sheet music. I think I said before that it never occurred to me that sheet music could be written in a foreign language. But discovering that was really cool for me because it's the best of two worlds for me. Although I can't read music, I love the way it looks. And although I can't read Japanese or Chinese, I love the way it looks. So putting those two together into a book was like, you know, the holy grail for me. I don't remember what book this is out of. But this is all just done with coffee. And then this is my trusty pan. When the pans in my house are no longer able to be used for cooking, they retire to my craft room and are used for dyeing papers. I really love the grunge look. I love the texture that it implies in the paper. So I love to dye with these rusty pans because what it does is it pulls all the different texture from the pan onto your paper. Now, when dyeing your paper, you could go one sheet at a time, you know, dip, dry, you know, dip, drain, and set aside. For me, I mean no, it's a set it and forget it kind of activity for me. So I literally will line this entire tray with paper, you know, and just try to cover as much as possible, you know, and then I saturate it all with coffee and just let it sit. Getting this kind of marking in the paper is letting it sit overnight and then peeling the pages off one at a time and then letting them finish drying. Now I tend to do this in bulk because rather than make just a little tiny bit of coffee, I'll usually make like a full cup of coffee, fill this tray, And then I'll just keep adding paper and adding paper and adding paper until the coffee is absorbed as much as possible. And that gives me lots of different options to play with. When I did this, I also did a bunch of scrapbook paper, also coffee dyeing on the back. And this was primarily to give this not that stark white background. So that I can use these for pockets, and then the inside has some color to it versus, maybe you can see the difference there a little bit. The difference between the white and the coffee dyed. So this has given me a whole stack of papers to make folding pockets. Gotta sneeze, hold on. Oh, this is the downside to doing this on my phone, is that I don't have access to a mute button like I do on my laptop. Anyway, so yeah, doing the scrapbook paper, I'm able to make folded pockets where the white is showing through, but it's not that stark white. Like this, for example. This is the pockets that I'm making out of those. So you have a pocket here. And then these are also, you either have a single pocket, or you can do two little things, one on each side. However you want to do that. But again, it shows you the difference between the coffee stained back and that stark white that it was before I stained it. So again, it gives it kind of an antique-y feel to it. And I have a whole bunch of circles cut out for these pockets. I mean, like, literally. I have a whole bunch. So at some point in a future video, we'll be making these. So that's one thing that I've been working on while I've been sick. Another project that I did is I went through an old crossword book that I had. I tore it all apart, and I've actually created some, I cut out some that I can fold in half and use as pages in a signature. So those will be for future journals. But then I also had all these pages that it was like, okay, what am I going to do with, these? So because they're thin, they're going to be a little more fragile. So I went through and I folded them all in half, and I glued them to make them thick. Now these can be used for many different things. They can be used as bases for pockets, tags, belly bands. You can even just fold them in half and use them as, signature pages if you wanted to. Pretty much do it. I mean, so many different options, so many different things you can do with these. I'm gonna pull out ones. I really like these because I think it gives, it's kind of fun. It gives a writing space to the journal. One of the things that I had made during this project is, they call them matchbooks. And you'll see, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It looks like a matchbook. An old school matchbook, So you have your cover, and then how many ever pages you make in the middle. I made that one. This one was out of this crossword book. And then I used some strips off of that coffee dyed paper And then a third one. This one I did a little more adding of the paper to give a writing space, just for a different look, honestly. Did here and here. I could have done here and here if I wanted to. It's totally creator's decision there. So those are pretty easy to make. Look, I've got my new glue. Much bigger line there than using the Sugar Bell bottle. So to do the matchbook, you're going to want to glue 2 full-size sheets top to bottom to make one long strip, because you're going to do a lot of folding on itself, and you want to have plenty of length to be able to do that. I'm going to give that a second to dry up. Now with this, you're just going to accordion fold. So fold one way, flip it over, and you're going to want it to be as close as possible. Try to get them to be the same size. Even here, here, and on the sides. So flip again. Of course, this is where it starts getting difficult in getting them to be the same size. Especially as I transition down here, and you can see that the second page is a little wider than the first one. So I just try to keep this edge, the folded edge, lined up, and I can deal with the overflow on the sides later. This would be a nice thick little matchbook. The downside to doing it the way I did with having this page doubled over is that it does make this a little thicker. You know, and generally speaking, in the junk journal world, is you don't want things to be thick. You want thin, not taking up a lot of, not taking up a lot of space. And when you get toward the bottom, I'm going to make sure your cover is facing, toward the bottom. You can either, this is creator's choice. You can leave this as a single, or you can double it, depending on how much structure you want this flap to have. In the name of not wasting, I do try to double it just so that I don't end up having this little flap to deal with or throw away or waste, Alright, glue that down. Now when you fold this, you want to give it, you don't want to fold it like right up against this. You want to give it a little bit of space for 2 reasons. Okay. Number 1, you want this to be able to lay flat as possible. But you also need to have that little gap there for your staples. Just remember, you're making a matchbook. Now, some people prefer to pull all of these out before they do that stapling so that they don't accidentally staple their book in. But if you notice, I kind of went in and then I squeezed it a little bit, and that gave it a little bit of an edge so I could see where things were. Now the next step in this is gluing your pages. And what you're doing here is making it so that you actually have pages to turn versus, you know, folding out all together. So as you saw, I kind of went from the back and pulled them out. So now you have your cover, and then these are glued together. So then you have a page, and a page. Ooh, my glue scissors are very sticky. Try to clean that edge up a little bit. This edge as well. Flap it under, and voila. Now how you decorate this, again, is crafter's choice. You could do like I did here. I just put some sort of paper. You could put, you know, decorative paper, especially if it's on the cover, if you wanted to. I got all kinds of different ones over here. That's not big enough. These are cut off from doing all those little pockets, so. But anyway, you would decorate this. People, you could, I've seen people put decorations down here on the flappy part, ribbon or rickrack. Really, the choice is yours. And again, how you want to decorate the cover and then each individual page inside is up to you. So how you put this in a journal, it depends on you as the creator. You could either use this as an insert, so it just goes into a pocket and can be as a removable, or you could glue this down into the book or into the journal, and then it would be a permanent fixture, you know, like this, and you would just flip through it and then close it up. Most people do them as removables, but again, creator's choice. So Simple Simon, that is the what they call a matchbook flip matchbook flip. I forget. Anyway, it's a matchbook something or other. So that's that for now. Who knows? I may come back and attach do another something. I'm not sure. Anyway, if not, this may be the only video you get for today. Talk to you later.